Well, the leaves on the mystery tree, not the bark on the tree particularly, but the leaves appeared to be like an apple tree, so I thought it was an apple and just a really early bloomer. And so what I did is I bought a crab apple because it will pollinate any apple tree that blooms the same time as the crab apple blooms. And then I did some research on it a few months ago. We had a little piece that came off of right there, and it was in the way when I cut grass, so I took my little recip saw and cut it off, and it had spines on it, and I really hadn't paid any attention to the spines, but you can see them right there. So I looked it up again, and this is a wild plum tree, or also known as an American plum tree. So we went out and paid big money for this plum tree here because it was getting ready to bud, and that was getting ready to bud. And then we bought this one really cheap. It was on a sale, and it was like $14. I couldn't pass it up. But anyway, we have what is called fruit. We haven't had fruit on this thing so long we didn't know what it was. But see that little thing right there? That am a plum. Now the other problem with this tree is it's such an early bloomer, and it's ready to be pollinated. You don't really need to pull those little things off because you might damage it. Once they're on there a while, it's harder to get them off, but you can knock it off real easy. But since it blooms so early, and our last frost date is April the 26th, 28th or something, and this bloomed like 2.5 weeks ago, so it might have been that all these flowers and blossoms froze on it every year for a lot of years, and that's why we didn't know what it was. Now whether they stay, I don't really know whether that's going to happen. Some of these plums look a little worse for wear. Some of them had a little dark color on them, but at least we know what it is. Now there's a lot of non-productive wood in this because you can notice that it's only producing on the last year's wood. And so this wood, if you have to cut plum trees back to get 2-year wood for it to make plums on. But it is sort of nice to see a nice little plum. And we know what it is, and we might get a few. But you can see that's a broken branch. There's a lot of lichen on this thing. This is old. I mean, I don't know, 25, 30 years old. But there's a lot of branches up there that are not productive. Only the light brown ones. And when it blossoms out, it really looks like it has a lot of growth and thing on it. But only when it blossoms out, and see all these other branches don't have blossoms. You can see all those old buds are dead. This tree needs a lot of cutting back of dead wood. Well, here's our mystery tree about a month after I did the other video showing the fruit on it, and we had a cold snap come through here that it didn't get below freezing for, I don't know, maybe 6 or 7 hours, and it was a bit of wind to it, but every one of those plums that was on this tree fell on the ground, or something ate them, because there weren't that many on it, but we can't find any on the ground. Something could have eaten it, but they were awful small. Well, it's a little windy in the afternoon like it usually is this time of year. We're at the river. We were here 2 days, went home, came back the next morning, That was Saturday morning. Been here since yesterday morning. It's now Sunday evening, about 5:10 on the East Coast. And this is our smaller plum tree, the one that was really on sale, and a nice little tree. And we got that planted. Come over here. This is a bigger one. We put it between this plum and that apple because we don't know that that plum's going to last forever, as old as it is. And this one, as we were planting it, hopefully I can find it, my bride goes, "We have a plum." It helped pollinate that one, and it got some plums on it. I don't even think I put the videos up on it. I videoed it with a lot of plums on it. And then I videoed it with them all gone after we had a little freeze. And I didn't think this was going to make it either. Well, we do have one. This is a Santa Rosa. And that one is a wild one, native. I'll be repeating myself if I ever put the other videos up that I did on this one that had plums on it. Over here's my compost pile. And I put all the leaves that I had to take off that garden to be able to plow this year because I just had too many on it. So it is really full. I need to start another one. And then start working on this one from one of the ends in another year or so. The bottom is all compost, but it's hard to get to them when you have a big pile like this. Before we had one where those two rows are, well actually we had it over near where this fence was, and it was about 6 feet by 33. Then we moved it over there and had that one 33 by about 6. Then we used all that on the garden last year, the year before. It all runs together after a while. And then we started this one a couple of years ago, just before we got the shed that I'm standing in front of. And then I got videos of everything. My bride's over there pulling weeds, the final weeds on that fence row that we had blocking the broccoli and Brussels sprouts, and that's the bag she had before and the bag she's picked today. And we'd hoped today to get these fig trees from the roots planted, but we haven't done it yet. We're keeping water on them, and that was the pot that the larger plum came out of. And it was root bound, and we had to take a razor blade and slice it about 8 times all the way through the outer edge because it had been in that pot a while. And you don't want to cut the big roots when you slice the root ball to keep it from running around in circles, but you can slice them down near the bottom of the root ball, but never up in the root ball. So we hope to get those planted when we come back. We're going to probably go home tonight, and if it rains, we'll stay home and come back Tuesday.